Hey, good morning, 111,000 out there. How you doing? Sarasota Tim, coming to you from Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida. And welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is not about what you're about ready to hear. It is about whatever I put up on the videos, whatever I do every day in my life. And we've got 111,614 and counting beautiful souls watching Sarasota Tim YouTube channel all the time. And if you are new, like I say, consider subscribing and join the community. We have a great community. Feel free to comment. I do a video called Crushing It for Christ. I used to do them more often, and I have been slacking a little bit on doing them. Although, as you can imagine what the video is about, Crushing It for Christ, it is a Christian, God believing, God teaching, positive thinking, Bible teaching video of what I'm reading and regurgitating, if you will, in my own words to my community that might be, finding some help to encourage them in their daily walk in this very secular world that we live in that has so many challenges and distractions that people get lost and they get completely bogged down with the world. And it's so easy to find your way to get back on track. It only takes moments. It only takes a simple awareness and a prayer to change your life. So while there's not a day that goes by that I don't talk to God, and I know many of you do as well, a lot of times, well, I should include myself as well, we get bogged down with these things and we forget about God. And so I made these videos called Crushing It for Christ. And I read from this devotional book called Jesus Calling, which is a devotional inspiration written by a woman named Sarah Young. And then I elaborated on it a little bit, generally before I read it. And then we have scriptures that follow the devotional that Sarah Young got from the Bible to write what she did. And so it's all trying to stay in line, factual, biblical, and truthful so that we can take it, not to substitute the Bible, but we can take these words of different, modern English and sort of understand it deeper so that we get a motivation to read our Bible more and to pray more and to think on God more, because it's kind of what it says all the time. I want to reach more souls out there. More people than ever before need to hear this. Just like we need more real media, real news, real both sides of the story. We need more, less bias and more truth. But you have to understand, everything that you hear, read, and watch, for the great majority, is absolute BS. The world today is so full of crap that you're, hearing it so much that you just start to believe it. Everybody. I mean, you can have conversations about religion, politics, health. You pick any topic you want. Nutrition, exercise, what way to do it, what's the best way to do it, who's right, who's wrong, this food, that food, fasting, non-fasting, carnivore, vegan, what kind of car to buy, hybrid, electric, Green New Deal, regular, drill baby drill, every single topic, war, no war, it's just, the list can just go on. You always have two opinions. And generally what you're hearing from both is not in the middle of the truth, but it is both extremely lying over here and this side extremely lying over here. There's very little truth today. I see it. Why do I see it? I'll tell you why. Because I've got clarity. I can see it because just based on my 66 years of being on this earth, knowing God, realizing and awaking to the false narratives that were programmed to believe every day. Obviously, since the pandemic, the plandemic, I call it, with all the crap that started from that, all the ways they've increased prices, which were really no additional cost to them, they just started doing it. While there might have been some incurred cost, people just started doing it because everybody else did it. So everybody said, well, we'll just raise our prices too. And we just keep piling on, thinking that we can make more money, we can get more power, we can get more popular, we can get more for ourselves, because it's a dog-eat-dog world. And now it's just like they don't even care. They don't even care that you know. They just keep thinking there's still a bunch of dummies out there that don't think for themselves, and there are. There are. While a lot of people are waking up and thinking for themselves, which is hopefully like my community and like myself, aren't easily duped anymore into believing pretty much everything you do. And when you start to realize this, it makes you like not interested anymore in listening, reading, and watching certain things, because you're like, what's the point? There's no value in this. All they're trying to do is piss on me and tell me that it's, raining, to use the expression. And really, that's what it is. Everything from commercials about pills, Medicare, this, that, and the other, all these things that they claim to work are nothing but gimmicks. I mean, I'm being a little facetious here, but literally everything has some kind of gimmick underlined to it. There's nothing that's just truthful anymore. And so you become like, look, I'm just going to live my own life. And so I started realizing all this, and then I became a carnivore. You go, wait a minute, where are you going with this? You're really losing us. No. When we don't take pills, when we don't eat certain foods that clog our brain, and we don't consume sugar, all of this helps these liars on TV and media and things that we read on our phones and tablets to believe they're junk, because we're full of junk. We're consuming we're drinking the Kool-Aid. We're drinking the Kool-Aid full of sugar. We're eating all the terrible foods. So I really do believe that people that have mental clarity, that have critical thinking, that have started some kind of fasting or carnivore type diet that eliminates a lot of inflammation foods and sugars and things like that, they get it quicker, because everything seems to process in the brain. That's why I'm bringing this up, because the brain gets fogged up from food. And our country is full of fog. It eats the wrong foods. We're an obese country. Just walk out your door and look at every single person. So now I would like to read the devotional today, and it really hit home, because I read these most days, most every day. I open this up, whether I make a video or not. But today I said I got to make another video. And I need to call it something else, because I think that a lot of my community, or even people that search the web on YouTube and they see Christ, it's like taboo today. God? Oh, God, don't give me that God stuff. Don't give me that Christ stuff. I follow this. I don't follow any of that. I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic. I'm something, but I'm not that. So don't push that on me, buddy. Well, we're gonna think of another title before I upload this video. And if you are fortunate enough to get through the whole video and listen to what I got to say here, and it touches one person, then it's worth it. Even my Crushing It for Christ videos, I would have to say the same thing. But I would like to grow it. I would like people to start, because the world is changing. We're becoming more woke. We're going to become thinner, healthier, clearer thinking. They got this AI now that's going to, you need to be able to think about it and how to use it and where to draw the line on it. There's a lot of intelligence that's going to be required, not to just offload it to some computer or your phone, where you think less for yourself, but we want to think more. We want to be able to have a brain that is functioning and hitting on all 8 cylinders. And it is my prayer that if you listen to this video, that you'll tell me in comments if you want to see more of these, you want to hear more of these, of just what I can share. I'm just one man. Then we'll keep doing it. And we're down here in South Florida, Southwest Florida, and we're trying to stay cool. It's hot out there. We're in the dog days of summer, and so a lot of people are just sitting in front of the TV or doing whatever to avoid the hot sun, and or whatever. And they're just filling their brains full of garbage, more and more and more every day. In fact, just like feeding your bodies. I'm sorry, I'll get to this in a second. They're already way overweight. They're 20, 30, 50, 100 pounds overweight. They're like, hey, what the hell? What's another pound? What's another pound? Give me some more of them cookies. Give me some more of that garbage. Put on CNN. Put on Fox. Let's just keep piling it on. What do I care? I'm completely brainwashed already. You're just an echo chamber. I mean, whatever it is you're following, you're like, yeah, I see it. I believe you. Oh yeah, they're bad. They're good. You're right. They're wrong. And you know what? You're wrong. You are not thinking for yourself. Listen to what people say. Listen to what I say. And don't believe me, them, or anybody. You do your own research and think for yourselves, folks. Okay? And if you ask God, God will give you the nudging to know right from wrong. It's pretty obvious, really. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you just think about it, especially if you don't have sugar in your body all the time. All right. Come away with me for a while. Get you right there. That's why I had to do that. It got me right there. Come away with me for a while. The world, with its nonstop demands, can put you on hold. Most people put me on hold, rationalizing that someday they will find time to focus on me. But the longer people push me into the background of their lives, the harder it is for them to find me. You can stop right there. Says everything. I mean, these words are so profound. Did you hear that? Do you have a clear brain? Did you hear those words? You can't deny that that isn't true. You live among people who glorify busyness. They have made time a tyrant that controls their lives. I only have time for this. I got to get that in. They make time for the garbage. That's what people do. They don't make time for anything good. They don't make time for their health, to eat right, to exercise, to pray, and that should be number one, to energize you for the day, to do all the right things, and to look for blessings, and to expect them. Okay? They just go out expecting negativity, they're all down in the mouth, they're full of bitterness, they're thinking about yesterday's problems, last week's problems, last month's problems. They just keep dragging in and just pulling this wagon of negativity. And meanwhile they're like, give me something to eat. I'm just gonna, just put it away and not think on that. And you get the picture. All right. So he says, even those who know me as Savior tend to march to the tempo of the world. And this is sad. Even the Christians, even the people that know God, have a tendency to march to the tempo of the world. They have bought into the illusion that more is always better. More meetings, more programs, more activity. I have called you to follow me on a solitary path, making time alone with me your highest priority and deepest joy. It is a pathway largely unappreciated and often despised. Everything I just said. Somebody comes on video, somebody tells you that the pathway that's unappreciated is often despised, and making time to walk with him is your highest priority and your deepest joy. They're like, what? Don't give me that God stuff. I gotta make this money. I gotta do this thing. I gotta watch that program. Desperate Housewives run. However, you have chosen the better thing, which will never be taken away from you. Moreover, as you walk close to me, I can bless others through you. And this is what's really good, is when you can give. You know how they say it's better to give than to receive? It really is true. Because when you get blessed and you have a lot in your life and you get full, your closet's full, your barn, your garage, your house, you are just a fat cat full of blessing. It looks like everybody's admiring you. You got everything going on. But you know what? There's bigger barns, there's bigger storage units, there's bigger RVs, there's bigger places to store, there's more blessings, there's more doors. It's infinite of blessings that God can give you that take you to highs that make those all you have look like nothing. And how do you do it? By giving away and purging and sharing and inspiring others. Whether it be your finances, whether it be your time, your kind words, your physical help you can do, a listening ear, a phone call, anything you can do to inspire others, to share with them about this, a video, talk to them about it, read a verse. All of these different things, will allow you for like your gas tank, it starts to go down. You've shared and given away your time, money, efforts, and everything else in love and kindness to others, God's creation. And what does he do? He just keeps filling you up. He's got a gas hose. You don't have to go to the pump. He just leaves it in there. It's hoseless. It's just in there, and it just keeps filling. It never really drops down. Every inch that you give away, he fills it back up with another blessing. And once you see that and recognize that, you will no longer be selfish, stingy, or anything else, because you will see. And sometimes, the second you give something, he's waiting for you to give 2 or 3 more blessings to someone, because he's got such a big blessing for you that when you only took it down a little bit, he can't get it in yet. He's waiting for you to really do something so he can really do something. It just keeps growing, and it's just a long lifetime of just peace and knowing God and having joy and happiness and smiling. And that does not mean that you need to have a lot of money or the newest car or the biggest home or the nicest RV. If you're happy and you're healthy and you're smiling and you just feel good, isn't that really what life is? Isn't that what most people are trying to find through those things I just mentioned? It is. When people go to the mall and buy new shoes, and people go buy a new house or a new car or almost anything, it's to feel something. Well, you can save yourself a lot of money and just feel it from thinking on your Father in heaven. Your children, when they were small, you didn't have to give them anything. All you had to do was, remember how you held them on your hip, you mothers and you fathers, and you hugged your son or your daughter when they were young, and you told them you loved them, and you just looked at them a certain way, you held their hand. Remember the magic that went through that caring stare and touch that inspired joy and happy and security and peace with your son or daughter? It wasn't like some parents that are just like, here's a toy. Go play with that. Don't bug me, kid. And while you want to give your children all you can, but you want them to appreciate things. It's the first things I just mentioned is what they really appreciate. And this you can see from a lot of people that grow up that esteem their parents and honor their parents. And if they were taught the right things, a lot of parents have raised children. We don't even want to get me started there, but when I grew up, people knew right from wrong. People spanked their children when they needed it, through a very loving way, not a cruel way. and their children love them more for it. And so this is how we should live our lives, folks. This is how we need to turn our obese, fog-brained, evil, hateful, down-the-mouth talking society, divided, into you being you thinking for yourself, and you going out and making a difference. Don't rely on the president. Don't rely on the people we've elected. Don't rely on the media. They're going to fail you every day, every second. That's their job. That's the evil in the world. You're not going to change that. Evil is evil. It's going to exist. But you are a light. And if you go out and shine your light, believe me, the darkness cannot control the light. The light overpowers the darkness. So if you just be a beaming light and others begin to do it too, and you run into each other, or you run into someone that was inspired by me or you or the next person, and then we all kind of start bumping into each other and we're getting all this love. And I see it every day already. But I mean, I want more. I want more. That we are all Americans. We're all God's creation. And we're all human beings. I mean, even throughout the world, you don't even have to be an American to respect and honor and treat people like you want to be treated. And the devil and the evil has come in and said, don't treat people like you want to be treated. Hate on people. Kill people. Do bad things to people. Disparage them. Assassinate their character. Bring them down because I'm evil and I'm miserable is how they think. Make a difference, folks. So the verses in the Bible, there's just two of them here on that devotional today. And it says, in the first one is a Song of Songs, the Old Testament. Song of Songs, chapter 2, verse 13, says, the fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. And then the next one is in the book of Luke in the New Testament. And I'll explain why this verse says it does, because I'm very familiar with it. It's Luke chapter 10, chapter 10, verses 41 and 42. And this is where Jesus was at Martha's house, and Mary and some others were there. And Mary was, pouring oil and washing Jesus' feet and pouring oil in his head and, just sitting there. And Martha was upset that Mary wasn't helping with the preparation of the meal and working in the kitchen with her. And so she got on Jesus saying, hey, she's not helping me. And Jesus replied in Luke 10 and said, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. So that sizes it up. She was honoring God, Jesus, right then and there. She wasn't distracted by worrying about making the meal. She was worshiping and being in his presence and just getting all she could out of him, and loving him and her loving him, loving her, and all of that. And Martha just didn't see it. And so he explained to her and gave her, an analogy, just like we just read, that we're so busy caught up in everything where the most important thing should be is crushing it for Christ.